Imagine finding a campsite deep in the woods, where everything looks recently used, but no one is there. There are moments in the wilderness that don't feel natural, not dangerous in a way you can easily explain, not something you can point to and name, but wrong. It starts with small things, subtle shifts, a silence that lingers just a little too long, a feeling that something is slightly out of place. The kind of details most people would ignore until they can't, because out there, in places where the trails begin to fade and the forest grows quiet, there are encounters people don't always talk about. Not because they didn't happen, but because no one can fully explain them. Welcome to Mr. Wick and Whispers. Tonight, 3 stories rooted in real events. From places deep in the wilderness where things don't feel right. And the final one might make you question what it really means to be alone out there. Most people would walk past something like this and never think twice. But sometimes, it's not what you notice first that matters. It's what doesn't make sense. A few seconds later. It didn't look unusual at first. That's the part that makes it harder to explain. The hikers had stepped just off the trail, not far, just enough to find a quieter stretch of forest. The kind of place where everything feels still, but not in a way that feels wrong. At least, not at first. Then they saw it, a campsite, set carefully in a small clearing between the trees. Nothing elaborate, no large tent, no signs of damage, just something simple, something recently used. The fire pit was the first detail that stood out. The ash wasn't cold, not glowing, but still warm, enough to feel, which meant someone had been there, recently, very recently. They looked around, expecting someone to step back into the clearing at any moment. But nothing moved. No voices, no footsteps, just the trees, standing still. Watching in that quiet, unmoving way forests sometimes do. They stepped closer, careful, trying not to disturb anything. The gear was arranged too neatly, a backpack leaning upright, a metal cup resting beside the fire pit, a jacket draped over a low branch at shoulder height. Everything felt paused, like time had stopped mid-moment. They called out, once, then again, but the sound didn't carry, it didn't echo, it just stopped, like the forest absorbed it. They waited, listened, nothing answered, and slowly, something else settled in. The silence. Not just the absence of people, the absence of everything. No birds, no insects, no wind, just stillness. Complete, unnatural. And the longer they stood there, the heavier it felt. Like something in that clearing had noticed them. Like something had been there and wasn't anymore. Or worse, still was. They backed away slowly. Not running, but not staying either. And later, when they tried to explain what they had seen, they didn't call it abandoned. They described it differently, like they had arrived too early. What makes moments like that so unsettling isn't just what was there, it's what wasn't. And sometimes, that's where things begin to change. Not around you, but within the time you think you've experienced. The search had gone on longer than expected, long enough that hope had started to fade. The missing hikers weren't inexperienced. They knew the area, knew the trail, which made their disappearance harder to understand. There were no signs of struggle, no obvious wrong turn, just gone. Search teams covered everything they could, trails, ridges, water sources. They expanded the search further each day, but nothing pointed anywhere. Until suddenly, something did. They found the hikers, but not where anyone expected. Not near a trail, not somewhere accessible. The location didn't make sense. To reach it required climbing, steep terrain, careful movement. And even then, it wouldn't be easy, but they were there, sitting on a narrow section of ground surrounded by sharp drops. No gear, no supplies, nothing to explain how they got there. Rescue teams had to work carefully just to reach them. And when they did, something felt off. There was no panic, no urgency, just stillness. A quiet, distant kind of presence, like they had been sitting there for hours, or no time at all. When asked what happened, the answers didn't come clearly. Fragments, walking, then nothing. A gap, not blurred, not forgotten, gone, cleanly, like those hours had been removed. And the more they tried to remember, the more one detail stayed consistent. They hadn't felt alone, not at any point. There had been something else there, not seen, not understood, but present, the entire time. By that point, it stops feeling like coincidence. Different places, different people, but the same pattern, repeating. And sometimes, the only warning you get is a sound. They weren't expecting anything unusual. It was a familiar stretch of trail, quiet, remote, but not unfamiliar. The kind of place where the forest feels calm, predictable, safe, at least, at first. They walked at a steady pace, not rushing, not stopping, just following the path deeper into the trees. The light was fading slowly, the air still, and then they heard it. A whistle, faint, distant, just one note, clear enough to notice, but not enough to explain. They stopped, listened. It came again, same tone, same distance, too consistent to ignore. They looked at each other, trying to make sense of it. A bird, wind, something natural, something explainable, but it didn't behave like anything natural. It didn't echo, it didn't shift. It stayed fixed. And then it changed, closer, just slightly, but enough. They kept walking, faster now, trying not to acknowledge it, because something about it felt intentional, and then it began to match them, step for step, distance for distance. Every movement they made, it adjusted, closing the space between them, slowly, quietly, following. That's when the warning came back, something they had heard before, passed quietly between hikers. If you hear whistling in the woods, don't respond. They didn't stop, didn't turn around, because something told them. If they did, they might see something they weren't meant to. The whistling continued, closer now. More defined, less like a sound, and more like something being made, on purpose. And then it stopped. Silence, heavy, complete, and in that silence, they both felt it. Something behind them. Close. Too close. Watching. Waiting. They didn't turn around, didn't speak, just kept walking. Until the trees began to thin and the edge of the forest came into view. And the moment they stepped out, the feeling lifted. Not completely, but enough. Enough to leave. But later, one of them said something that stayed. It didn't feel like we got away from it. It felt like it decided not to follow, and that's the part that stays with you. Not just the sound, not just the moment, but the realization that something was there the entire time. When you step back and look at all of this together, the campsite, the missing time, the whistling, it starts to feel less like separate stories and more like something connected, something that exists just outside of what we understand, in places where fewer people go, and fewer people come back with answers. Let us know in the comments which one unsettled you the most. And if these kinds of scary stories, paranormal encounters, and creepy wilderness experiences stay with you, make sure to like and subscribe to Mr. Wick and Whispers. Because there's one thing that's even scarier than that story: not watching another video like this one. And next, we're going into places where people didn't just disappear. They were never found at all. And some say, whatever is out there is still waiting.